I, 28M, need to vent before I do something stupid. Or maybe I'm about to do something smart. I can't tell anymore. I've been working in logistics for a mid-sized shipping company for 4 years. For the last 3 years, I've been incredibly close with a colleague. Let's call her Sarah, 27F. We were the classic office duo. We grabbed lunch every day, texted constantly after hours, and I listened to her vent about her dating life for hours on end. I'll be honest, I had feelings for her. I thought she felt the same way, but was just focused on her career. Because I cared about her, I made her life easy. Here's the context. Sarah is charismatic and great at talking to clients, but she is tech illiterate. Our inventory system is a dinosaur, legacy software from the 90s, green screen and everything. It's a nightmare to use. Over the years, I built a complex series of Excel macros and Python scripts on my own time to bridge the gap between our sales software and the warehouse system. I called it the magic sheet. You just type in the order numbers and my script does all the data entry and compliance checks automatically. I let Sarah use it. In fact, because we're a team, I often just did her data entry for her. I covered her mistakes, stayed late to finish her reports, and basically did 1.5 jobs while she got the credit for record efficiency. 2 months ago, our department manager announced he was retiring. I applied, Sarah applied. I assumed my technical skills and the fact that I essentially run the department's back end made me a lock for the role. I was wrong. Sarah got the promotion yesterday. The director cited her great communication skills and the seamless efficiency of her workflow. I was crushed. I felt used, but I told myself to be a professional and a good friend. I bought her a congratulatory cupcake this morning and walked into her new office, the one that used to be our boss's, to celebrate. She didn't smile. She looked at me with this cold, corporate dead-eye stare I'd never seen before and said, "OP, thanks for the cupcake. But listen, since I'm your boss now, we need to change our dynamic. People talk. I spoke to HR this morning and put a formal note on file that our prior closeness made me uncomfortable, just so there's a paper trail. I need you to stay away from my desk unless it's strictly work. I need to set boundaries." My jaw hit the floor. She didn't just friendzone me, she used my crush to exploit me for free labor for 3 years, rode my work to a promotion, and the second she got power, she preemptively reported me to HR as a potential creep just to protect her new corporate image. I didn't yell, I didn't argue, I just said, "Understood," and walked out. I'm sitting at my desk now. I'm shaking. I have 2 weeks of vacation time accrued that I haven't used. Our employee handbook says if I quit with immediate effect, they have to pay out my PTO, but they usually require 2 weeks' notice to leave on good standing. I don't care about good standing. I'm typing my resignation letter right now. But here is the thing. That magic sheet and those scripts, they aren't on the company server. They aren't in the official repo. They are files I created on my personal laptop and brought in via USB to help me work faster. They are my intellectual property, not the company's. Sarah has no idea how to use the legacy system. She doesn't even know the command codes. I'm about to hit send on my resignation, pack my box, and delete every single tool I ever built to help her. Wish me luck.
It's been 5 days since my last post. The fallout has been faster and more satisfying than I could have imagined. Here is exactly what went down after I hit send on that resignation email. The execution. As soon as the email went out, I went to work on the shared drive. I want to be very clear for the armchair lawyers, I did not delete a single byte of official company data. I didn't delete customer records, invoices, or history. What I deleted were the tools I built to interact with that data. I permanently deleted the magic sheet, the Excel macro-enabled workbook, and the Python scripts hosted in my personal user folder on the network. I also went to Sarah's computer, which I had remote access to because, remember, I used to fix everything for her, and removed the desktop shortcuts that pointed to my tools. Then I walked over to the dusty bookshelf in the corner, grabbed the original technical manual for our legacy AS400 system, a 400-page binder from 1998, and dropped it right in the center of Sarah's desk. I grabbed a sticky note and wrote, "Since you wanted boundaries, here is the manual so you can do the work yourself. Good luck." I packed my box, handed my badge to the receptionist, and walked out. I didn't even say goodbye to her. The silence. For the first 48 hours, I heard nothing. I assumed Sarah was trying to figure it out, probably thinking I just moved the files or that the shortcut was broken. I spent those 2 days sleeping in and playing Elden Ring. Then came Wednesday. The chaos. My phone started buzzing at 9 a.m. First, it was a text from a warehouse buddy. "Dude, what is going on? We haven't received a pick list in 4 hours. Trucks are idling." Then came calls from unknown numbers. Then a text from Sarah, "Put the files back now." I blocked her number. By Thursday, the director, Sarah's boss, the one who promoted her, called me. I let it go to voicemail. He left a message sounding confused and agitated, asking if we could discuss my departure. Finally, on Friday morning, yesterday, I answered the director's second call. The call. Director. "OP, we have a major problem. Sarah is claiming you sabotaged the server before you left. She says you deleted the shipping software. HR is talking about legal action." Me. "I didn't delete any software. The shipping software is the AS400 system. It's still there. Go check." Director. "But Sarah says the interface is gone. She can't input orders." Me. "Sir, Sarah doesn't know how to use the AS400. For 3 years, she's been using a set of automation scripts I wrote personally to do her data entry for her. Those scripts were my intellectual property. When I resigned, I took my property with me. If she wants to ship products, she has to type the command codes into the terminal manually, like the job description requires." There was a long silence on the other end. Me. "Did you ask IT to audit my activity?" Director. "Yes, they said you only deleted files from your personal user directory." Me. "Exactly. So Sarah, your new manager of operations, doesn't actually know how to operate the system, and instead of learning, she accused me of hacking?" The director sighed loud enough the microphone peaked. He realized it. He realized he promoted a person who was effectively a front-end GUI for my back-end work. The turn. Director. "OP, look, the warehouse is backed up by 1,200 orders. We are bleeding money on late fees. Sarah is struggling. We need those scripts back. Can you come in on Monday? We can discuss rescinding your resignation. We can talk about a raise." I laughed. Rescind my resignation? Sarah filed a report with HR saying I made her uncomfortable. I can't work in a hostile environment like that. I am not coming back as an employee. Director. "Then what do you want? We need the system running." Me. "I'm willing to return as an external consultant to build you a new official interface, but my rate is $150 an hour, minimum 40 hours guaranteed, and I don't answer to Sarah, I answer to you." He didn't even negotiate. Send me the contract. I spent last night drafting a consulting agreement. I'm going back in on Monday not as a subordinate, but as a high-paid specialist to clean up the mess they made. And Sarah? My warehouse buddy told me she was in the director's office with the door closed for an hour yesterday, and she came out crying. I'll update you all when I finish the job. It's been 3 months since the explosion, and I can finally close this chapter. I know many of you have been messaging me for the conclusion. Here is how it all ended. The return. I walked back into the office on that Monday, but the vibe was completely different. I wasn't wearing my usual polo and jeans. I wore a suit. I wasn't an employee. I was a contractor. When I walked past Sarah's office, she looked like a ghost. She had clearly been crying all weekend. Her desk was covered in piles of printed invoices she had been trying to manually reconcile. When she saw me, she stood up and started walking toward me, looking like she wanted to apologize or maybe beg. I didn't even stop walking. I just nodded and said, "I have a meeting with the director," and walked right past her. The meeting was short. The director signed the contract. Rate, $150 per hour. Scope,
build a fully documented, user-friendly interface to replace my old magic sheet. Reporting line, directly to the director. Sarah was explicitly forbidden from managing me or assigning me tasks. The work. For the next 10 weeks, I built them a proper system. It was honestly easy work because I already knew the logic. I just had to make it official and dummy-proof. The best part was the weekly status meetings. Sarah had to sit there while I explained to the director and the VP of operations exactly how the new system worked. Every time I explained a basic concept, the director would look at Sarah and ask, "Why didn't we know this before?" It became painfully obvious that Sarah had lied on her resume, lied in her interview, and lied about her daily responsibilities for years. I didn't have to say a word to sabotage her. My competence, and her lack of it, did all the talking. The fallout for Sarah. About a month into my contract, I was in the break room getting coffee. Sarah came in. She looked exhausted. She tried to play the victim. She said, "You know, you really screwed me over. I thought we were friends." I looked at her and finally said what I needed to say. Friends don't report friends to HR to cover their own tracks, Sarah. You wanted the job, you got the job. You wanted boundaries, you got boundaries. She didn't say anything after that. 2 weeks before my contract ended, Sarah was put on a performance improvement plan, or PIP. Last week, I heard from my old warehouse buddy that she was let go. The official reason was performance incompatible with role requirements, but the rumor is they are looking into whether they can claw back the bonus she got for her efficiency last year, since it was based on my work. Her career in this industry is likely cooked. Logistics is a small world. The happy ending. While I was billing my hours as a consultant, I had to work closely with the accounting department to get my invoices approved. That's how I met Emily, 26 female. I'd seen Emily around before, but I was always so fixated on Sarah that I never paid attention. Emily is smart, funny, and actually respects me. We started grabbing lunch, billable hours, of course. I told her the whole story. The crush, the betrayal, the revenge. She didn't call me a simp, she didn't laugh at me, she got angry for me. We've been dating for about 6 weeks now. It is night and day compared to what I had with Sarah. It's an actual partnership. The future. My contract ended yesterday. I invoiced the company a total of roughly $28,000 for 10 weeks of work. I used that money to pay off the last of my student loans and put a down payment on a new car. Even better, because I can now list independent logistics consultant, automated legacy systems on my resume, I landed a new job. I start next Monday as a senior operations manager at a competitor. The salary is $30,000 higher than what I would have made if I had gotten the promotion Sarah stole. I walked out of that building for the last time with a signed check in my pocket and a date with Emily on the calendar. Karma is real, but sometimes you have to give it a little push.